Hello, welcome back to Blender Sushi Live Learning. In this episode, I will be doing an improvisation using grease pencil and notes. So basically, the idea is to be able to draw really high details of 3D mesh using grease pencil, but still manageable. So let's get started. I need a blank grease pencil, and I'm just gonna draw a simple stroke. Later on, I will change this into something else, maybe like a sculpture. And let's say you want to instance Suzanne along path of this grease pencil, right? While still keeping it alive. How do you do that? So we're gonna use sverchok nodes. So this is sverchok, instancing, and especially with things like, let's say we want to have like a Suzanne Head and instance it on every point of these lines. It's going to be really heavy, so we have to think about that. So we already know the drill with grease pencil, Shift A and GP. This will give us lots of points. Let's see. Okay, you can see the dots there. That's grease pencil that has been resampled. I'm gonna reduce the number so we don't have too many. So we have lines and edges, and we can use duplicate objects along path. Yeah. We can just plug in Suzanne Head and you will see what's going to happen. It's going to be pretty heavy. You need to be really careful. I'm gonna merge it. So this time, I think because we don't have too many points, so we don't have too many Suzanne Head. There's actually Suzanne Heads being instanced along this path. I think I need to turn off the... There's an option that's controlling the scaling. Okay, so apparently Suzanne Head is being instanced this way, which is actually not too bad. We have different type of options. Okay, we can turn it off, turn the scaling off, and so we just get Suzanne Head. And it's looking quite funny and interesting if you use a different orientations. It's a little bit abstract, right? So this is all right. My computer still can handle this up to million or 10 million. It merged into a single object, and yeah, it looks quite nice. But if you want to go really high numbers, you probably want to use instancing. Let's say we use this for now. Okay. Sequence. The idea is really you can use, instead of using Suzanne here, use triangles, a single polygon face, and then later on you use Suzanne Head and instant the geometry into the triangle. We should actually try that for now. Triangle, maybe icosphere even. Imagine this is Suzanne Head. It's going to be really quite heavy. Okay, so that's the first thing we want to do. The next thing we want to do is to actually draw properly using grease pencil. If I have a VR tool, this is probably so much easier to do if we are drawing in 3D space. Let's say I want to draw like some kind of spider, abstract spider. This is inspired by a sculpture I saw somewhere, I think maybe Shinjuku, Tokyo, right? I'm gonna use this grease pencil and I'm gonna draw it on top of this object over here. So I'm gonna change the stroke placement into surface, and I'm gonna zero this offset so I can just scribble around this. Interestingly enough, we still have that object over here. I'm just gonna hide it. So this is gonna be the center of our sculpture. The next thing I want to do, I want to draw some kind of legs there for like, you know, like a spider. This leg seems alright, slightly tilted. I'm gonna draw another one. Yeah, this is actually not bad. Maybe sometimes the leg is not quite perfect. We need to fix the alignment. But so far so good. I'm gonna draw. Oh, okay, this one's a little bit crooked. So this one also a little bit wrong. I'm gonna show you a trick to fix these orientations. Okay, save this first. So first of all, with grease pencil we can go to edit mode. Right, with edit mode, you can select any of the stroke. You can tap L, you can select that line. If you have multiple grease pencil stroke, you can use Control L to select all of them. We're just gonna deal with one like this over here. So I add this guy. It has extra stuff that I want to delete actually. Maybe I don't worry about that for now. We have something in Blender called 3D cursor. In the past, 3D cursor and select is actually one tool, and then you use left mouse button and right mouse button for that. In the newer version of Blender, this becomes separate. You can use this 3D cursor to place a point, which is really handy. And once you place a 3D cursor there, like for example at that point, you can rotate the grease pencil using this pivot. Okay, so this is what I'm doing, especially for things like legs, or if you're drawing something that requires pivoting. This is how you do it. You can scale it. Scale also, it's gonna pivot from that position. So again, let's do this. We place the pivot there. This is left click, and then I'm gonna select. Okay, this is where it gets a little bit annoying because we need to select using a different tools. Like I said, in the past we used to use right mouse button and left mouse button together, but yeah, since left mouse button seems to be what people prefer, so but we can deal with this. Select these objects, go to pivot, place the pivot, and rotate. This is how you can control the placement of something like legs. I think I'm missing one more leg, so I'm gonna draw one more legs. Pivot is wrong. Switch to 3D cursor. Go to edit mode. Oops. Place 3D cursor there. Select our legs, and then pivot around it. Lots of different add-on out there that does this pivoting of something you just created. Anyway, so we've done with this, and then the next thing we want to do is just to switch back to 3D object mode and then updating our design here, hopefully. Hopefully we get something. So we have 92 icosphere being generated, which is actually hidden. Okay, so it's there. I need to combine this stroke into a single object. First of all, we have 18 different strokes. I'm gonna pass it to sverchok here. Right, we have our spider. We can further randomize the design. So this is one of my 3D sculpture idea. It's pretty, might be pretty weird. It's pretty interesting looking as well. So I mesh join it here. I still can randomize the position of the points. Okay, and I can increase the resolutions. So we have something. It's 3D, it's like sculpted, and you can turn this into volume, mass, volumetric, remesh it, whatever. But it's something, right? Like I said, if I have like a VR drawing tools, this is gonna be so easy. You just need to draw the points in space. Now, if we want to have Suzanne instead of icosphere, we can certainly do that. Let's try. It might crash my Blender, but set parent to objects. After I do that, I want to create duplicate. So let's create duplicate instancing based on the vertices. There you go. It's really, really fast if you're doing it this way. Align to vertex normal. Okay, so we have something that's looking really detailed, especially if I turn on cavity. Okay, maybe no shadow. It's too slow if I turn on shadow. Okay, you can see this guy, this Suzanne Head. You can use any kind of objects. Maybe like a skull, human skull. And you have something pretty alien looking. It's okay. And you can also use the face, the icosphere face, instead of vertices. You can scale by face, size, and yeah, you have something that's looking really weird. It's still pretty interesting. And maybe you want to rotate Suzanne Head so the face is always pointing out. Gonna go to edit mode, RX90. Oops, I rotate Suzanne the wrong way. I rotate it based on the pivot of the 3D cursor. So I need to hit undo that. Gonna fix that later, I guess. Transform orientations, global, individual origins. But you got the drill. So this is how, if you want to have like a really like high resolution mesh being instanced on something that's on a grease pencil that's still alive, because I can always go back, make a different stroke, paint something, so maybe draw something different. So this pencil, draw. Oh, it has a placement of stroke there. Okay, interesting. So draw anything, blend, or write just doodles. And the results can be something that's really high resolutions. You can increase the sampling, really go really crazy, and you can instance Suzanne Head. And it's really fast because we are using instant same objects for each and every points of this icosphere. So this is what you want to render in the end. Not the icosphere, you can hide the icosphere, you can hide this alpha object. You want to keep just the instance. If you want to hide the alpha but still having the Suzanne being rendered, I believe we can turn on this render toggle. Oh well, one of these anyway. We should be able to render just the final result, Suzanne, separately from the emitter. Okay, so that's pretty much what I want to show you. This is how you can sample grease pencil and use the grease pencil points to generate really high resolutions complex 3D mesh. Hopefully you find this interesting, useful. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.